Hello, this is Tim Daniels from THS Sporting Center, and we have the brand new 2025 Muzzy Deviant bowfishing bow. Several years ago, when they first came out with the LBX, I bought one of those bows, and they recalled them and had some fairly tension-prone issues. Muzzy this time is apparently trying to redeem themselves by producing a hybrid. It is definitely a one-of-a-kind in this market. And again, this is the first time that I have really laid eyes on one of these personally. So I'm not too sure exactly what to expect. So it comes up with some finger savers on there. It has a cam on it here of sorts that is it's about 7.5 inches long. Seven and a half inches. Pretty good guess. Looks like an adjustable draw stop. I guess that would be related to draw length or let off. We're videotaping, Fred.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
You put that in there if you want.
No, that's all right. So it draws really smooth. This is pretty nice. That exceeds my expectations, quite honestly. Basically, all you're doing is it just feels like a regular cammed bow, or a regular compound bow, but it's just using a very large, again, cam, slightly different design, just skeletized it for basic reasons. At the end of the day, you're basically dealing with a cammed bow. This is not a lever bow. At least not what I consider a lever bow.
Kind of the concept of a dynamo.
Yeah, dynamos. All right, let's see what draw weight coming out of the box. It's set at 32 pounds. Let's see if we can figure out what it holds. And it's holding about 14. It comes with a Muzzy arrow rest. Looks to be machined aluminum with 3D printed epoxy style rest. They do need to be using a silicone to support the rest, or else it'll end up breaking. I don't think you'll have that problem with this bow. Walled stops really nice. I mean, it's just oh no, sorry, 29 inches. Hand tie knocks are going to work out a lot better than brass knocks. Brass knocks, you're going to get a lot more finger pinch, and quite honestly, they don't hold as well. I personally tie on a very small, very tight D-loop. The D-loop allows you to find it at night with just by touch, and it holds better than either a tie-on knock or a brass knock. It gives you the best of both worlds. That's really nice. It is. It's got a decent amount of energy. It's a 29-inch draw, so that's a lot of power stroke. I'm used to shooting something around a 27-inch draw just because of the amount of power that's on some of the other bows I shoot. But this, that's got to be a fairly decent arrow speed just by the feel of it. So, so far so good. The external yoke will allow you to balance these cams to keep them from leaning much. That's one thing I haven't looked at yet.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be able to, you know, middle of the night, yeah.
It looks great. I don't see much cam lean. And it's shooting straight. Out of curiosity, we'll see what it does with a little bit more draw weight. Be interested to see how this would hold up. And I'm sure they thought about this. It seems like this is reinforced in here. Just wondering about things getting caught on this, but you could say that about anything. But it might be able to. I'm sure they've taken this into account with the type of material they've used here. There is some flexibility to it, but not a whole lot. The limb pocket seems well done. The limb seems to be nice and held in there, nice and tight.
Then we'll go from there, how's that?
Yep. Thanks.
No problem.
I'm going to turn up the draw weight some, see what happens. So, in the LVX, they had terrible limb bolts. They were garbage. They screwed about everything you could screw up in that, and hopefully they've learned their lesson in this, which they seem to. Yep, they put some grease in there, and it seems to be that. Yep, this turns normally. So whoever did this in production did a nice job. I'm going to go ahead and turn it up all the way. Just checking to make sure they're both bottomed out the same. I'm going to take it back a half turn. So let's see what we got this time.
Right. Exactly.
You're gonna invest $300 to, then you save your life one day.
Right.
If you're gonna need to use it,
Right.
$300 invested that to the good. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I've got shotguns.
It's quite nice.
You know.
I can definitely say this is at least the best Muzzy bow that I have used or tried. They got some innovative features here too. I sort of like this. This is a sort of like a little Picatinny rail here. This would allow you to mount something and get a positive lock on it so it didn't oscillate or turn as long as it had a receiver that would match that. You have your standard 5/16 threaded stabilizer hole. A little line puller here. They got a little tip tightener on this. Obviously, it'd be nice to have this on the water and see how it shoots, and you get a better feel for it than just shooting it in here. But
They got tons of those on their website. I've never
I like it. this is a nice bow. Kudos to you, Muzzy. I would like to see how this holds up over time. So one of the things they did here for servicing it, they have these little fingers that are attached to the ends of this fiberglass limb that allows us to use a bow press to fit in here to compress this bow with a press like this. We have a couple of these presses in the building here, and this is what it was designed for, is that they designed those fingers for that, and that would help keep it serviceable. Looks like you'd have to run them forward a little bit. But nice job. Cable slides to the outside. With this design, it has to be. The way it's off the center here, there's no way you could do an inside slide. These are sort of silly. But nonetheless, maybe there's a reason for it. Again, I'd be interested to see how this thing lasts over time. This is a much better initial offering than the LVX ever was. I'm not a big fan of these type of no glove apparatus. These are the AMS no glove substitute, knockoff, call it whatever you want. Most people like shooting like nitro tube. It's basically a fuel line that you put over your string. It's round stock. It's actually softer. It's not that expensive. It's just a pain in the butt to put on. It's a little harder to put on too. But that is a little bit more softer in fingers, and you get less deviation left and right when you're actually shooting the bow with this stuff here. By the way, this is an example of what I tie as a very short D loop. This has thousands of shots on it, and you can see that there's a little small hand tie knock there. Then I tied a D loop, and again, a very short D loop. You can't put a release aid on it. And I tied it, again, really snug. This allows it to, again, hold much better over time. And again, you can see the difference in the profile between these two. And that black background's probably a little tough, but this stuff here is just proven to work really well. It's available in a lot of different colors. So let's look at these two bows side by side. So what I did is I turned this down to, and again, I just used a metal scale, and it's not my digital scale, so I just got it ballpark close. This is about 33 pounds, thereabouts. Again, 32, 33 pounds. I can't be, again, sure, because I'm not using a digital scale, just using an old spring scale. Again, the draw length's a little long. It's at 29.5 inches, or 29 inches. So about right there. And again, that shoots pretty clean. I was trying to simulate about 27.5 inches of draw. Again, it is very similar. Obviously, I'm going to need I would use a chronograph to get it right, and I would set the draw lengths the same and then use a scale. But this is, again, very surprisingly nice. Again, so there's 29. So about there's getting about 27.5. It is really, it's got to be very close to the same kind of thing. I am concerned a little bit, again, about cold. And again, this in here, possibly, I don't know if this would act as a catch. By comparison, Deadwake makes machined aluminum outboards. I guess it's possible to bend one of these suckers, or you'd run one over or something like that. But these are pretty durable. This bow is a little over 2 years old, and I've shot the bejesus out of it. I really like this bow. One thing that'll be interesting to see, and we'll try to do this in the videotape, is string angle and finger pinch. because of the way these cams are designed and the length of the cams, you actually get let off. So this is not a lever action bow. It's a cammed bow, at least by my definition. By the way, all camless lever action bows are not good. I don't care who makes them. There's not a single one that I've been impressed with. I've tried all of them, and they're all, the only thing they have going for them is they're cheap. This, at the price point, is definitely going to be significantly better than any of those that I've ever tried. And that, again, any of them that have been built by any of the well-known bow fishing companies, tried them all, and they're go from worse to less worse. The LVX is the worst. Okay, and again, so I'm just going to stand like this for a second. And we're looking sort of the relationship of this finger pinch here, what this string angle looks like. That's right, you don't have to get that close. I can always edit it. But anyways, so I know where I'm going to stop with the other bow at the same place on the arrow rest. The idea is try to simulate this draw length. This draw length is about 27.5 inches. I shoot it shorter to cut down on finger pinch and cut down on power stroke. That bow is so energy efficient that it, again, sails arrows through fish. If you try shooting it at 35 pounds, you're going to get too many pass-throughs. Did I put the arrow in upside down? I did. All right, here we go. Right there. So that is the exact same draw as the dead wake Leviathan. It'll be interesting. All right, let me grab one more bow. This is the new 2025 dead wake Cyclone. I have not shot this for bow fishing yet. It hasn't been on the water yet, but this bow is nice. There's no draw stops on this one right now, so this is set at I think 28.5, 29 inches of draw right now. If I back it off to, oops, right there, that's 20, right there is 27.5. And this bow is pretty neat too. But anyways, we're gonna contract, oh, here, let's do it like this. Again, sort of comparisons. This is what I was talking about earlier about rest. This here is, again, a machined aluminum rest. It's going to offer a great amount of durability. And these are nice. And again, it's just bolted onto the side of the bow. This one here, I'm using a silicone to help support the rest all the way around it, to help make it a little bit more durable. This rest here is from a company called Boondocks.